how do you like living in Clear Fork versus TCU housing?
I mean, it's definitely a lot better to be off campus, out of housing, student housing, just because you feel like you have a little bit more sense of freedom and you have your own place, really. But I do say I miss being close to like everything on campus and classes and such.
Okay, cool. What is your average morning like, and how early do you have to wake up in order to get to school on time and find parking?
Let's see. Well, average morning, it's nice because none of my classes start till like 11 every day, so I don't have to get up super early, kind of just chill waking up, but I do have to leave at least 30 minutes before my class starts, even though I'm only 10 minutes away from campus, just because if I don't, then there's no chance of finding parking and it's stressful.
So going off of that, how has the construction affected your commute?
I don't think it's really affected my commute per se, just like adding time to find parking because so many parking lots are now closed, especially for commuters. And then you have the problem with like other kids like who aren't commuters like taking the spots in the lots.
Do a lot of your friends have the same issues as you do, that commute as well?
Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot about it. It's a huge talk on campus, so yeah, I would say everybody has that issue.
Where do you usually park?
Well, a lot of my classes are Mountie South and like that area, but I also have a few on the other side of campus in Tucker, so I usually park in the library lot if there's room, or I try to find street parking or the lot by the bookstore.
Have you ever had to park illegally?
I think I park illegally almost every day. The ratio of me parking legally to illegally is heavily outweighed by illegally.
Would you live in the Clear Fork apartments again?
I think so. I do really like living over here, and I think the benefits of living here really do outweigh the parking situation. That's really the only downside. And I think just like trying to find ways to get around that. Hopefully TCU opens up some more parking for commuters because that would be great.
So what are the benefits of living here instead of on campus or near campus?
Benefits, I mean, it's kind of nice to be away from campus, just like you go to classes, you do your studying, and then you have somewhere to come home to. But besides that, there's a lot of like shops over here. I mean, there's like this field out here. It's kind of nice. You feel like you're in the country, like you're kind of in the country, but it's just nice to get away from it, get away from campus and school life and just have some downtime.
So would you say there's any cons to living here?
Yeah, it is far. I do have a lot of friends who are still living on or near campus, so just like kind of like coordinating where to all hang out. It's not like living on campus where you could just walk to down the hall or to their dorm, so that I would say is a con, and parking and commuting.
How does the construction affect your overall learning experience?
I have yet to have an experience where it's been a negative impact. It's not like I'm hearing all this like knocking all the time. There was a time last year there was some very loud, just I don't know, construction noise going on, and it disrupted the class. But besides that, it's pretty much away from the classrooms, which is good.
Do you think that construction on campus is necessary, or TC should have left it the way it was?
Well, I think it is partially necessary because I know they're building some new dorms. I know that there's a problem with that and housing. Personally, the parts of the campus that are being updated, I'm not really a part of. I know I think there's like a music school or something. So I probably wouldn't go over there. So it doesn't really, I don't really have a say, really.
So I don't usually wake up earlier from construction noise just because I live on the 4th floor and I face like the rest of the Greek, so I'm not really right near where the construction is, but I've definitely heard of other people who have.
Has it inconvenienced those that have woken up earlier because of construction noises?
Yes, it's inconvenienced other people for sure because especially like if it's when you have class later in the day and you hear them starting the construction at maybe like 9 or 10 a.m. and you don't even have to go to class yet, but you hear it, it's kind of annoying to have to wake up earlier than you planned just because of the construction.
Okay. How has the construction on campus in general affected your everyday life?
So construction on campus is good in a way because TCU just wants to make the campus better, but it is also, I think, negatively influenced a lot of students because there's always times when if someone's dropping you off, they can't go down certain roads, and I know a lot of people have had problems with being able to find places to park as well, and so construction's kind of played a role in that. And so for me, I walk to class all the time, but still even just walking to class, it's constantly the workers on the road with it being loud, and sometimes even the sidewalks are closed, so we don't always have the opportunity to be able to easily get to class either.
Okay, so what would you say the benefits are of living on campus are besides walking to class?
I would say the benefits to living on campus are probably just the convenience of being able to see your friends easily. It's a lot easier to just kind of say like, let's meet up at the Blue, rather than if you live in like separate apartments and you have to be able to like set up a time and drive to each other, and it could take a little bit longer. So I guess I like that about living on campus, and I don't really know. I guess it's nice to be able to like use like the rec for free and have some options for food and stuff as well.
Okay. Do you ever feel unsafe walking to and from on campus with many construction workers around? Because I know a lot of people have kind of brought that up. It's been a topic of conversation.
Yeah, I definitely, it's not that I don't feel safe, but I would definitely say I feel uncomfortable around the construction workers because as you go walk to class, a lot of times I walk alone to class, and so I feel like a bunch of them like turn and look at me when I pass by, and it's just kind of uncomfortable because like I just woke up and I'm just like trying to get to class, and then I feel kind of like objectified in a way. So I definitely feel like the construction workers are kind of a interesting way to walk to campus when you see them. Yeah.
Okay, so would you say that the construction workers kind of giving you looks, would you say that's a con? And if it is a con, what are other cons with the construction and just living in this area in general?
Yeah, I would say it's a con because last year when I lived in Shirley, there wasn't construction on the street over there, so when I would walk to class, I kind of avoided that, and it kind of just made my way and didn't have to worry about anything. But now, going to class, like sometimes I'll try to wake up earlier and go to the Blue and stuff, and then if I do that, then I don't have to pass them and don't have to worry about walking past the construction workers and feeling kind of weird about it. And just in general, I mean, the Greek is a little bit farther away, so I guess that's a con as well. But yeah, for the most part, I try to stick to like the areas of campus that are closer to the inside rather than on the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that construction on campus is necessary?
I don't know if I would say it's necessary. I would say that some parts of it are really good because it's helping make the campus better and helping attract even more students. But the campus is really beautiful and accessible the way it is, I think, too. And so I don't think it necessarily needs to happen all the time year round. Maybe like it'd be good to make some updates over the summer.
Great. And lastly, how does the construction affect your overall learning experience, or does it affect your overall learning experience here at TCU?
Yeah, I would say it affects me because definitely, what am I trying to say? I would say it affects a lot of people's learning experiences just because it's something that a lot of people kind of almost like bond over in a bad way. Like we all hate the construction at TCU, and we all hate that we can't find parking, and we can't get away from like the loud jackhammers and stuff, and like having cones around and everything. So I think it's like almost a bad bonding for TCU students, and it's something that is kind of just like a frustrating thing to have to deal with every day.
Thank you. How do you like living in Village East?
I love living in Village East. It's really close to school. It's pretty affordable. What else? We have parking. That's cool. Did I say kitchen already? I like to cook. I like food. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about TCU tearing down the parking lot near your apartment complex?
Oh yeah, the one by the library.
Yeah.
When they tore down that parking lot, I was so upset because I was planning on parking there and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so easy for me to park. Like there's a library, or there's a parking lot right by the library, which is so close. And I was like, I won't have to worry about like walking to the library in the morning or like super late at night, like coming back. So when they tore it down, I was like pretty upset.
Okay, so how has the construction affected your everyday life?
I would say that, oh yeah, so like whenever I first moved in here, they were doing construction like for TCU, not in my parking lot, but the parking lot behind where I park. So like my window backs up to the parking lot, so I could hear it like every single morning, and they started at like 6 or 7 a.m. Yeah, it was just super loud. Woke me up a lot.
So do a lot of your friends living in the Village East area have the same issues that you have?
Yes, I know one of my friends lives in Skyrock, and she said the same thing, but like her noise was louder. Yeah, she could hear construction going on in the parking lot, like near the library, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Would you live here again?
Yeah, I would live here again because it's like really convenient to live here, and it's like pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah, they have like a lot of stuff. I mean, they don't have any, what is it called? What is it called? Rip. What do we do?
What are the benefits of living in this area?
I would say it's convenient. So like, even though parking, like we should have had the parking lot, like I still park 2 blocks away from campus. Like I have designated parking for myself. It's super close to campus, so I can walk there. If I'm running late for class, I can just like get there within like 3 to 5 minutes. I would say, a lot of people living around here. So like, since it's really close to TCU, I feel like everybody who lives around me is like a TCU student. So like, you always see like a familiar face whenever you're around your apartment.
Okay, would you say, what are the cons of living here, in your opinion?
The cons of living here are probably, I know on the weekends, not as much the weekdays, but a lot of people will come, since it's really close to campus, and like there's usually stuff going on, like when the football games come on during the weekend, a lot of people will park on my street, and like we have to pull out of our parking lot, and like you literally cannot see a single thing when you're like coming out of the parking lot. So it's like you're like blindly going into the street, which like doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's like it's kind of spooky coming out there.
Okay, what do you hear about those who commute to campus? Would you say it's more negative or positive feedback?
I would say it's more negative feedback. I feel like everybody really struggles to find a parking spot unless you have like an 8 a.m. or something and you just get here before everybody else. But I know like pretty much if you don't get here before 8 a.m., you're struggling for parking. There's very limited parking, especially because they tore down a few parking lots and like they redesignated parking lots. And yeah, so I would just say like a lot of people find it difficult to find parking and have been like street parking and just walking because there are no other available spots.
Okay, do you ever feel unsafe walking to and from on campus with the many construction workers around?
I don't know. See, like during the day, I don't find anything scary, but like once it hits night, I wouldn't say it's like just construction workers. Like it's just kind of scary to like walk alone at night, and like especially like whenever you're alone, really. And I feel like that would just be like better if you could have parking because you don't have to walk as far by yourself.
How would you say the construction affects your overall learning experience here on TCU campus?
I wouldn't say like it necessarily affects my learning, but it is like I mean, especially because it's been going on like ever since we got into TCU. So it's like, it's been going on since forever. They call it Texas Construction University. I would say that it definitely like affects other people, but I wouldn't say necessarily me because like I don't have to worry about parking. But like if you can't find a parking spot, because I know at one point in time construction workers used to park at places that students would park, and so like not designated spots but like on the street and stuff. So it's like now that other people are taking over the spots, like some people are like late to class, so like I know it affects other people.
Okay, and lastly, do you think the construction on campus is necessary?
Not at all. I don't think that any of this construction is necessary. I feel like TCU is really like always trying to improve everything that we have, which is very good in like a lot of ways, but it's like to what extent is that valid, I guess. Yeah, I feel like they need to really focus on parking, especially because they're admitting so many students into campus. So it's like you can't like take away parking lots and like add more students who like can get parking passes. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.